Marriage is an important source of migration in India, and this has been established by a report titled Women and Men in India 2012, which shows that the trend of migration is getting more popular with women in comparison to men, both in rural and urban areas. So does it bring more prosperity for women in terms of their social standing? What does this trend signify? This and a lot more is what we are trying to analyze today in this 1 hour. Welcome to Gender Discourse. I'm Lottie Alaric. So Kaml, how do you really look at this? Because of course it was happening earlier, it's happening now, and it will even happen in the future. So how do you look at this? First is migration only due to marriage, then we'll talk about the rest.
So majorly the clients that we see is the couples who are working couples because of a lot of reasons which I don't want to go in detail. But so these are the people who come from smaller towns, get educated, do well, make it large in their life, join big corporates, come here to NCR, and after 10 years of my witnessing all this reality, I can talk that yes, about 95% of them were migrated couples, both of them. Now here what I saw was that a man who does his MBA of engineering and joins a MNC in a metropolitan city, he wants to get married and he looks at some girl from a smaller town. Why? Because he hails himself from the smaller town.
Right.
Now people who are in the metropolitan cities, who are either from the business class family or working here, generally the chances are that they look at the spouse from the same city only. But here the largely the case is that they themselves hail from a smaller town. So this makes the girl also come. So I see that yes, be it at whatever level, the girl is the one who has to come. And as Devi was also mentioning, I've seen so many issues coming up, so many marriages even having a negative sequence ultimately because of this shifting thing.
Okay, so Kaml, now as Indrani says that the trend is more significant now from the rural to the urban. So that is why that big increase as you talk about.
Rural to
rural as well as the other way. So what according to you is the main, of course we know it is marriage, but then as she said, and as she also said, that because of lack of opportunities in smaller towns, that is why we see this increase. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. See, there are two aspects to it as I see it and as I understand. So when we are doing or working with people, lives, we get to know that there are two sets. One is the family. So as a father of my daughter, I would prefer that she goes into a better home, because in any case I have to marry her. So she should go in a better house. So I look at a prospect where it's a city. So if I am a small town or a small city person, I like or prefer my child to go in a big city. So I look out for matches like that. Bombay mein shaadi karna hai, Jaipur mein, Delhi mein. So I look at good cities, definitely the boy and his financial structure and all that.
Correct.
So this is one aspect of it. The other aspect is that now, if you notice that from last about 3-4 decades, we've communicated it in a mass manner that the girl should be educated, she should do well. We are focusing at the girl child, and now here is the outcome. So we focus on the girl child, got her the best education, and now when she's ready to actually come out on the field, she looks at opportunities as Devi has mentioned, so which are not there even today in smaller cities. Even cities like Lucknow don't have as much of opportunities as a city like Delhi would have. So they come and they migrate, and a very easy option is the moment they finish their MBA. 90% of families, even educated, look at the marriage of the girl. So you go to any PG institute, any MBA college, any engineering college, you'll find that the parents are all set. The moment her third year or second year, final year is completed, they're all set to look out for a match. If nothing else, the relatives would come back and want them to get married. So after the MBA she's ready, now she'll make up her choice. So at least if I get married, the first question that she has, because we get so many girls, we get individuals also, girls for pre-marriage. So they have their issues, and my father wants me to get married, and there's this opportunity, where do I go, what do I do, or this is the guy that I want to marry. So we get to know the real situation. The real story is that when they are just completing their PG, they have to get married. So the pressure is there. So as again Devi was saying that it is never her choice. Largely it is not her choice, largely.
So whether it is the rural setup or the urban setup, the point is that women don't have much of a choice.
Or
Let's try and get this answer from the psychologist.
Yes, I know.
What would he say? Let's just put it on his shoulders.
We come to a very interesting point now, apart from talking about figures and what the sensex and all these studies have to say, we talk about the reality now. So definitely there's a reality. Reality is that globally, so we've got so many people, even I've worked sometime outside in US, and a lot of foreigner couples also do come here, those who are on some diplomat touring or something. So globally what I have seen is that however advanced a woman may become, however powerful, however strong she may become, she's still, other than the financial dependency, which still a woman is able to take care of when she comes to city and she learns how to manipulate, how to actually be a street smart one. So she does that. But still, that emotional dependency is something that is always there. So that is something that holds her always, which is what we help her understand. We don't make her indifferent to the reality. So certainly she needs a man. Certainly she needs to be depending on somebody, but then not at the cost of her own self-esteem. Now here when we talk about migration from rural to urban for women, we look at that sect which is educated, which has dreams, which has a dream. You know, she's grown up seeing that yes, I'll get educated and I'll be at some position, I'll do something, I'll be somebody. So she's grown up with that kind of a sense. Now when this one grows up and finally reaches there, still she's dependent, because psychologically the role expectation from a man, from a husband, is still that he'll take care. He'll be taking care of the finances, even if she's earning 3 times or 10 times of in comparison to her husband. Still she looks at him for her dependency, for all the things. So she has that subtle fear inside her. Even if she's able to have that cloud that no, I'm strong and I'm able to do everything and I'm all independent, still inside that fear still lives. So we don't say that that is good or bad, because there's second reality attached to it. The second reality is the two of them have their own unique roles, which both of them need to respect. Problem comes when either doesn't respect. So when the man doesn't respect her individuality, yes, she's the goddess. This is what our society has been always talking about, propagating about, that she's the Annapurna, she's the Lakshmi. So she's the one who manages the finances. Not better than her, any man can look about savings and equal amount of expenditure. She's the best. But she needs to depend, and he also needs to depend. So when the man doesn't do that, when he doesn't play his role, the disbalance happens.
Right. So now you want to tell us the other part of the story, as you just said, so I would like to hear that from you now.
Now the after story is that because she has migrated from her place to a city or a bigger town, definitely the male domination, which I see as an outcome of a control. So because he is at a bigger position in terms of a city, he thinks high of himself. The other part of the story is now the control even pushes her down. So whatever position she may acquire in her work, whatever position she reaches at, but then she's even more dominated, because again she's looking up to somebody and the other person looks down. So very few cases are there which should be increasing, I wish for that, but then very few cases where actually they are at equals. So again, as both of you have said, that it is more of caste and more of traditions and economics also, because he is more powerful, because the girl's father is sending her to a better house. So better house means that she has to look up to that person. So
it's more economically sound.
More economically sound.
And
that
the girl
pressure
always looks for emotion. She's emotionally dependent.
Now, Kaml, what is, in your opinion, what do you think, that why don't we see too much of migration for studies, especially if we were talking about studies? We don't see many parents really sending their daughters, to other cities. And again, here I'm talking about the larger picture, not just these cities.
Now, education, migration because of education, again, as a father, again male domination. So he looks at the security of his daughter. So he says, even if she's not going anywhere else, fine, I want her to be protected. I want, because I see her as somebody who is not so powerful. So the traditional expectation of a girl child. So even if it is me, I'll comment about my own self. I'll look at my wife, my daughter, or my girlfriend, that she should be safe. However, I may try to control myself. It's okay, it's her individuality. Let her explore, let her go, let her be wherever she wants to be. But then that traditional expectation or of a gender, I have to stop it in myself, but not everybody can do that.
Correct.
So this protectionism inside the father or the mother as a parent, or even the brothers if they are elder, they'll say, "No, she's not going to go anywhere." So try karo, be here and do whatever you want to do here. No need to go or think of anything else. Do whatever you want, but this is your limit. So this is the kind of psyche that they have. And we see that.
We see that. Okay. Now, and Indrani, if we were to talk about migration due to work, so what do your figures really say over there? If we talk especially of the